classroom environment, including class size and consistency of peers, will affect student outcomes, including academic performance, student engagement, and teacher interaction. Students do not all learn in the same type of classroom, and research shows that factors like class size and learning environment can significantly affect how well students are likely to perform in school. Some students are used to large classrooms with many students, while others may come from much smaller classrooms. These differences change how well students learn, participate, and interact with their teachers and their classmates. I chose this topic because I have only ever been in small classes, usually around 6 students, and I had a consistent peer group through my upbringing. I wanted to understand how this type of environment compares to larger classroom settings, so I researched peer-reviewed education journals on class size and student outcomes. Research shows that classroom environments, especially class size and your peer consistency, affect student outcomes, including academic performance, student engagement, and of course, teacher interaction. First, I will explain how class size can affect your academic performance. Second, I will discuss how classroom size and consistency of peers can impact student engagement. And third, I will explain how classroom environments affect teacher interaction and support. To begin, one of the most researched effects of classroom environment is how it can affect you academically. Smaller classes are often linked to improved academic outcomes because students will receive more individual attention from their teachers. According to research done by the Tennessee STAR study done by Finn, students in smaller classes performed better academically and showed long-lasting achievement gains. In a smaller class setting, like one with around 6 students, teachers can spend more time helping each student understand the material, and it's easier for them to notice when somebody is confused and provide immediate support. Since I have only experienced smaller classes, this level of attention has always been normal for me. However, in larger classrooms, teachers must divide their attention among many more students, which can make it harder to provide that same level of support that I am used to. In addition to academic performance, class size also affects how students participate and stay engaged during class. Students in smaller classes are often more likely to participate in discussions and stay engaged during lessons. Blatchford's research shows that smaller class size, can lead to greater student participation and more active learning environments. In a small class, it's harder to stay quiet or disengaged because everybody is expected to contribute. Another important factor is having the same peers over time. In a smaller community or school, students often stay with the same group of classmates as they grow, as is in my case. This creates a more familiar and comfortable learning environment. From personal experience, having the same peers over time makes it easier to communicate and participate because students already understand each other's personalities and strengths. In larger classrooms, students may be less likely to participate because there are more people and it's easier to stay quiet or unnoticed. Because of this, both class size and peer consistency may have a strong influence on student engagement. Another important way that classroom environment affects students is through teacher interaction and support. The size of a class can strongly impact how often and how effectively teachers can interact with students. Blatchford's studies show that smaller classes allow for more frequent and meaningful teacher-student interactions. In smaller classes, teachers can build better relationships with their students because they have more time to interact with each individual. However, having the same peers over time can also improve how students understand teachers and teachers understand their students. Teachers may become more familiar with each student's learning style, strengths, and challenges, which allows them to provide much more personalized support. For example, in a small class where students will stay together over multiple years, teachers can track progress more closely and adjust their teaching methods accordingly. In larger classrooms, it can be more difficult for teachers to build these types of connections, and because they have much more students and less time for each one. Because of this, classroom environment plays a major role on student-teacher interactions. After examining the research and comparing different classroom environments, the impact of class size becomes clear. Classroom environment affects academic performance by influencing how much students receive, how much attention. It also impacts engagement and changing how often students participate and interact. Finally, it affects teacher interaction by determining how much support each student can receive. Overall, classroom environment, especially class size and consistency of peers, play an important role in shaping student outcomes such as performance, engagement, and teacher interaction. Understanding how classroom environments affect learning helps explain why students have very different educational experiences depending on the size of their class and the people they learn with over time. Thank you.